Ah. Mosin Nagant. What's not to love about this gun?
One more time.
The Mosin Nagant World War II battle rifle. Now found a home at Bucko's place. Tell you what, man, this gun is excellent. I love this gun. I love all of these. You know, real sturdy. We've just had so much fun shooting these things, and it's just so cheap to shoot them. Man, I love this thing. It feels great in your hand. I mean, it's got the battle rifle feel. It's heavy. So I mean, the sights are really good if you ask me. I love the notch and bar sights. And this gun's about as simple as you can get. I love its bayonet. If we ever get anything mass attacks coming through those woods right there, we'll be ready. Oh man. Whew. I wish I had some more ammo in my pocket right now. I'd probably try to see if I can shoot through that stump over yonder. Telling you what, buy these while you can. Can't stress that enough. Man, I love these guns. Become a family favorite. Howdy, Bucko here again, and coming at you today with an extensive review. That's right, extensive review on the Mosin Nagant, or Mosin Nagant, as the Russians say. But I usually refer to it as just the Mosin. Thank you again for watching all my videos, and I thank God for the subscribers I have, and I'm glad y'all love my videos. I'm going to continue to come at you with more of them. You know, if the money permits, I'm still able to buy them. But I can't thank you enough. And today we're going to do a review on my new favorite battle rifle. In fact, I guess I've caught Mosinitis, as you could say. But let's jump right into it here, and let's first go into the history. You can see here, these are Mosin Nagants. The first one I got there. The lighter color one, that's a M9159, and I'm going to probably make a separate video. We're going to go more into details on the differences between the models and makes. I ain't going to do that in this video, but that first one there is the M9159. That's the first one I acquired. I actually acquired it at a gun show for $160, which I thought, you know, God, that's high, you know, for Mosin. I always heard of them being $120, but this one here, I ended up finding out I got a deal later on. But that's for another video. But that first one there is a 9159, the lighter color, and that's my first Mosin. And that one in the background is my father's that I bought for him. It's a Mosin Nagant M44. You can see it's got the bayonet folded on the side. Let's give you a little bit of history on the guns. Mosin Nagant, of course, the M1891 came out in 1891 by Sergei Mosin and Mosin Nagant. But mainly, except for the magazine, Mosin pretty much come up with the rifle. The only thing that Nagant, gave to the rifle was the magazine mechanism. And anyway, so it's mainly Mosin's design. In fact, in Russia, they call it Mosin. They don't even, Nagant to them is actually referring to the Nagant pistol. This gun was in service with the Russian military from, of course, 1891 all the way up until 1945 or 1946 when they ceased production. It shoots a caliber 7.62 by 54R, or rimmed. It's not Russian like a lot of people think. The R stands for rimmed. It's a 5-shot bolt action, and it has a straight bolt, which might be weird to a lot of people, but you eventually get used to it. And I kind of like it. I think it looks good myself. It's definitely not what I'm used to. If you like me and you've shot Lee Enfields or other hunting rifles that have a turn bolt located near the rear, this is definitely different, but it's definitely not hard to get used to, and it's very simple to operate. Russia used these things extensively through World War II, with the M1891-30 being the majority of them. In 1944, or it may have been 1943, they come out with the M44 carbine, which you see there in the background. That's Dad's, that darker one, the fold bayonet. That's the one with the fold bayonet in the back, the M44. They pretty much, they had another one called the M38. It looked a lot like the one you got in the foreground, but the soldiers they liked it because it's shorter. It was shorter and, from what I understand, lighter. But they didn't like the fact it didn't have a bayonet. And back in the day, bayonets were a standard thing. Especially in European armies, they kept bayonets long after the U.S. Even though the U.S. still had them, they didn't really, I don't think they used them a whole lot. European armies believed heavily in bayonets. So that's when the M44 came into the game. At this point, I don't have a 9130 to show you. I haven't yet shot one. Be honest, I like my carbine version so much, I doubt I will. But anyway, though, that's some of the history of the gun. Anyway, that's some of the history on the gun. Let's move on to the caliber. It's a 7.62 by 54R, which, like I said before, it means rimmed, not Russian. The cartridge I'm not sure on when the cartridge was invented, but it's really, really old. I'm thinking it's probably invented about the same time as the Mosin came out in 1891. And in fact, it's still, from what I understand, it's still in service today. That is a long-serving military cartridge. Ballistically, from everything I've read, it's pretty much a median between, it's right below, not much, but it's right below a 30-06 and above a 308. So it's a full power rifle cartridge with full power recoil, especially on these carbine versions that we have. And with a steel butt plate, that doesn't bother you too much until you get about 50 rounds, 100 rounds, but you toughen up, you get used to it. But 7.62 54R, it's really easy to acquire. It's really cheap. Last time I looked, you can go on Cheaper Than Dirt or Bulk Ammo or any websites like that, and you can find 7.62 54R for sale for $79, $89, not including shipping. And if you calculate it, that's right at about 20 cents a round for a full powered rifle cartridge. Now it is surplus, so that means, and it is corrosive, so that means that you're going to have to clean your gun after you shoot it, or it will corrode. I think it's overblown how quick it will corrode. I'm sure you could probably wait a few days. I wouldn't wait too long though. My suggestions, what I've always done is just take a wet patch down the bore, make sure you wet it, wash out all those corrosive salts, and then follow it with a dry patch to get all that water, out of there, all that moisture out of there. Then follow it with some oil. That's what I do, and I haven't had a bit of corrosion out of it doing it my way. But everybody has their own way of doing it. Bolt head, same way. It'll get some where the primer, fires. So you want to swap out a little bit. A lot of people say take down your bolt. I've took down my bolt once or twice, but I don't really think it's all that needed. Just spray some oil down there in that hole, I think, and make sure you clean that bolt head, and I think you'll be okay. But moving on, like I said, the ammo is really cheap. It's really affordable, and it comes in Spam cans of 440 rounds. Let me show you that right quick. And here is your Spam can of ammo, 440 rounds, 7.62. A lot of these markings, some of these markings I don't know what they mean, but I do know that that's the date. This particular lot was made in 1981, and it's made for factory 188, which is, from what I understand, really good ammo, and it has been really good ammo, really accurate. I ain't had a failure to fire at any of it. The surplus ammo works great. Really cheap, and in my opinion, if you don't mind cleaning your gun, I'd much rather pay 20 cents a round than the regular 50 cents a round, which is what it's going for with Brown Bear or any of that stuff that's non-corrosive and new production. Here's a 5-round stripper clip, and you'll see me loading that in one of the video clips. 5-round stripper clip, and I'll get into that more maybe a little bit later. I'll go ahead and do it now. You want to load these things really carefully, and you can look up videos on YouTube. I'm not going to go into extensive detail. Just make sure that all the rims, this is a rimmed cartridge, so if you don't do it right, they will lock up, and I've had that happen. A lot of people say, well, the interrupter, be honest with you, I don't think, ain't really none of my guns really, if the interrupter's supposed to work, it doesn't help it. Just make sure you load it good, make sure the rims are in front of each other. When you load it, you're going to want to take this top round, hold it back like this, and push it down. But you do that right, everything should work out for you. You'll still have a problem here or there. But I like it pretty good. And these stripper clips are actually, I believe, finish made. They've been really good. They're real cheap. You can find them on eBay or Amazon or any of that all day long. And moving on, let's get on now to the reliability. Reliability has been awesome. Of course, it's a bolt action rifle. I can't think of a way much to mess it up. But with the Mosin, it's hard to explain it. It feels so sturdy. When you lock that bolt closed, it's locked closed. It's just a sturdy built gun. Now I have had trouble out of that one there in the back. I will go ahead and say this. I don't know if maybe the extractor is kind of new, or it just needed a little bit of bending. But when we first got it, we had a hard time, and that's in one of those other video clips. If I'm able to put it on this video, I will. We had a hard time closing that bolt sometimes, and I couldn't figure out what it was, but got to looking at the shell casing, and it was actually rubbing and scratching that shell casing, and the extractor just wasn't, it was just so tight, and it wasn't moving. So I pried on a little bit, got it bent a little bit, and that worked pretty good. It's still a little bit tight, but it's okay, we can deal with it. That one there in the front, it works fine. We don't have much of a trouble with it at all. Mosins do have kind of a sticky bolt. I ain't seen any that don't. I ain't, actioned any that don't, to be honest with you. But, that's just how I've seen they are. It doesn't bother me. If you jerk on it hard enough, it will, it will open. You don't have, it ain't a big fuss, But it definitely, it ain't quick. but it works really well. It's a really reliable gun. I ain't had no trouble, no failures to fire. And if you look down here at the front, right there, you'll see a toolkit. And in that toolkit, let's see if I can show that to you. Let's open this thing here up, and I'll show you. This toolkit has what they call you get a bunch of other stuff in here. You get like you get a muzzle cap, so you can put cleaner rods down the barrel without it scratching the muzzle. A jag and all this stuff. But main thing here is this tool here. And my tool was actually, from the looks of it, made in Ishvest arsenal. And this is a firing pin protrusion gauge. And I ain't had to do it on any of mine. Mine had all been set right. But basically, if I can remember right, yeah, this here pretty much tells which one it's supposed to be on. Now, of course I would remember, but now I forgot right for this video. But one of these is just barely supposed to rub, and the other is supposed to stop. I think it's right here in the middle is where it's supposed to be. Somebody probably correct me on that. I'm probably wrong. I can't remember for sure. But it also functions as a screwdriver, because you got your action screws down here at the bottom. So this tool here is really, really important, and it's really, really handy. I've had to tighten up some of my Mosin kicks hard. Now, I don't know if it likes to sometimes, especially this one here. I shot 50 rounds through it one morning, and then I shot a little bit more, and the action started to shake a little bit. I just took this out, screwed it in a little bit more, and it was fine after that. But this tool here is really handy. In fact, this whole tool kit, I had to buy this separately. It didn't come with either one of them, but it's pretty awesome. I'm able to use this muzzle cap here, so I ain't got to scrub the muzzle with the cleaning rod on the way down. It's really, really handy. I love it. It comes in this, I don't know, I'm sure that might be fake leather pouch, but you just pretty much just wrap it around. But that is really, really handy. I love that. Since we're already down here and we're talking about accessories, here is an oil bottle. You'll probably never use it. I haven't really used it yet, but it's a cool thing to have with it. One's for oil, one's for solvent. I'm not sure which. But see here, mine was actually packed with cosmoline. I had to heat it up and the cosmoline just ran out. But it's a pretty awesome accessory to go with it. It's pretty cool. But anyway, that's what that tool is for, and it really does, like I said, it really does come in handy, and I'm glad I bought that. Now that we got reliability, and like I said, it's great reliability, but of course it's a bolt action rifle. What trouble could it give? But it's really sturdy, really reliable. I don't see a Mosin stopping anytime soon, and in most of the world they haven't. I don't care if the barrel's shot out, they just won't stop. So reliability is excellent. Now let's move on to WROL. And a lot of people look at a Mosin as and that is a survival gun, with that rule of law gun. I definitely agree with that. I think it'd be an excellent survival gun. You could stock up on ammo real cheaply. If you spent $200, and this is at most, right there you have 880 rounds of full powered rifle ammo. It's a good gun. I think it'd be a good gun for self-defense mainly, you know. Only thing is about a bolt action rifle, and especially a Mosin Nagant, you're going to have over penetration and all that, but for WROL it would work great. Now, I would recommend having something with a little bit more firepower than a bolt action, just in case, but for most intents and purposes, I can see a Mosin working fine. I would love that as a WROL gun. I agree with that completely. Like I said, the ammo's cheap. You could hunt with it, and it's a very accurate rifle to hunt with, and I'll get to that in a minute. But it's very accurate. It's very, you know, it'd be great for hunting. Now we already got into cheapness of ammo, but like I said, the ammo's really cheap. You can acquire a lot of it in a short amount of time. It ain't going to break the bank. And for a full powered rifle cartridge, that is awesome. That is if you go surplus. Now let's get into accuracy. Now let's get into accuracy, and we're almost near the end of our review. Let's get into accuracy now. As I said, these guns are really accurate. This here is actually a first target. Now, have yet to shoot any paper targets yet, because I've actually about run out of paper targets. I need to get some more then. But this is actually the first time I went out and shot the Mosin. This is the first time not really knowing, what to expect. For me, that's pretty good groups, and this is from 90 yards. About the maximum I can shoot it at. It was cloudy. It was about to rain. This was with the Bulgarian surplus that I got with the gun. I had 50 rounds of surplus ammo in a bag, and this here was 9159. When I first trying to figure out where to point and aim it at, I shot up here, and you can see my 3 shots. Of course, I know they are spreaded pretty bad. Then my second shots, you see where they hit. And this is when I finally realized where I need to point. This is the third sighting. And that ain't bad for me, I don't think. I ain't no marksman by any means. I don't do a whole lot of bench shooting. The only thing I really do is just lean on the porch rail sometimes, and really most of the time I stand up. But that ain't bad at all. And if you're hunting, or you're, for whatever situation, for most intents and purposes, that will be fine. I'm sure now that I've gotten better at it and shot them a lot more, probably do better. But I just haven't made any more paper targets. But that explains the accuracy. The accuracy is really great. Some of them shoot high, like that one there in the back of Dad's. It does shoot high. Every gun's different, and that's no different for Mosins. One Mosin might shoot dead on, the next Mosin you got to aim low. The next Mosin you might have to put out the bayonet for to make it a little bit accurate. It all depends. To be honest with you, the M44 bayonet thing, I know for sure they did sight them with the bayonet on. But for us, it ain't made a whole lot of difference. Of course, the most I ever shoot is about 90 yards at a milk jug or a little bitty Mountain Dew bottle. And I can hit that pretty easily. Now, I ain't shot any more than probably 100 yards or so. So I can't say for sure whether it matters. But from my experience, it hasn't mattered much at all, if any. Now let's get into the weight of it, and we're about at the end of our review. The weight on the M44 there at the back, and this is probably about right, because I got to thinking, the 9130, as long as it is, probably weighs about the same, and the weight's going to be 8 pounds and 10 ounces. That ain't all that heavy. In fact, that's pretty manageable. I don't think it's bad at all. Of course, I'm a bigger built guy, but I don't see no big problem in that. 8 pounds, 10 ounces. That's fairly heavy, but that ain't bad at all, really. I've lugged it around the woods before. At least lugged mine. Lugged around the woods before and had no trouble. I would recommend a sling if you're gonna carry it long distance, because every gun gets a little bit heavy on you. But the weight ain't that bad. And the weight pouches on the if you ever see pouches on the side, and let me show you that. I got hit hiding trying to stand up this one Mosin. This here is the ammo pouches you can buy for it. And they got different kinds, but this here is your main majority, and it holds these stripper clips in here like that. And you hold 3 in each, which means with each one of these double pouches you'll get to hold about 30 rounds. They hold 15 apiece. Which actually ain't bad. And the weight on those pouches with all the ammo in it, with about 30 rounds, it ain't bad at all. I hooked in my belt loop, had one on each just to see what it felt like, and I walked around a little bit. It wasn't bad at all. A lot better than, and this is going to be a future review, than my AK with its 4-thing mag pouch. Now that is something to talk about, but that's for a later date. Like I said, the weight ain't bad. It ain't great. I'm sure the weight's a little, probably maybe even a pound lighter here on the 9159 because it ain't got that side folding bayonet. But that also means that the recoil is going to be bad, be worse anyway. The recoil, I don't find it a big problem, but it does start to creep up on you after you've shot so many rounds. Steel butt plate it doesn't forgive, especially if like you was me and you just started off shooting it and you thought you've done good all day, and just one time you forget to put that stock in your shoulder, it will find it for you. That steel butt plate does. But you know what? You toughen up, grow a pair, and you keep going. Yeah, but you know, for little kids and all, I'm sure they could shoot it once or twice. I wouldn't let them shoot it a whole lot because it is going to hurt them. It's a full powered rifle, and these particular versions are carbines, so they're going to kick. I mean, at least in my experience, they're going to kick worse because they're lighter. The 9159 kicks worse than Dad's M44 at the rear, just because it ain't got the extra weight on it. Weight really does make a difference. We was talking about in one of my video reviews before, the M1 Garand. M1 Garand shoots 30-06, man. Yeah, but it was almost 12 pounds. When you got a gun that's almost 12 pounds, that's going to take a lot of the recoil out. So, you know. But anyway, final conclusion. Should you buy it or should you not? You should buy it. I love this gun. In fact, I about want to start collecting them. These guns are awesome. Their prices are going up as of right now. Here in about November 2014, the prices are going up, subject to change, because they'll probably get another boatload tomorrow, and here it goes back down the price again. But for a regular 9130, last time I checked, it was $160 compared to just a couple months ago. It was $120 and sometimes a lot cheaper. So my idea is buy them while you can. At least, I mean, if at least you could resell them. But I love mine, and I'll probably continue to get some more. Dad loves his, and especially now that we got that extractor problem fixed. And the Mosin Nagant, it's worthy of. It's definitely worthy of, to at least get a look at. I think you'll definitely love it. Everybody I've talked to that's had one loved it. At work or friends or anybody. It's just a fun gun to shoot, and it's so cheap. That's what helps make it fun, especially for tightwads like me. That makes it a lot funner to shoot when it's cheaper to shoot, and it's just so much fun, so accurate. You can get out in the back and shoot, you can shoot a lot, and it's just, like I said, it's just so much fun. Kind of brings you back into history a little bit, and they're just, and another thing I wanted to mention before we go, the prices does not reflect on their quality. I used to buy into a lot of people saying, "Oh, Mosin Nagants, that's so cheap because they suck." Mosin Nagants are awesome. I mean, I love them. Yeah, they're actually my new favorite battle rifle. They are slow, but they're really accurate, really easy to understand. I love the notch and bar sights. What everybody was popular, most people say it's false. It's untrue. Mosin Nagant's price does not reflect on their quality. The quality is awesome. The fact of the matter is, it was just, from what I think there was like 37 million made or something. Supply and demand. That's why they're starting to go up. Their price is starting to meet their quality. That's what happens. But like I said, final conclusion: buy them while you can, and I would definitely recommend buying it. They are just so awesome. Buy one for each of the family. They're cheap. Even an M44 today, about $220, $240. That's cheap for a bolt action, full powered rifle cartridge. I mean, it is, especially as accurate as Mosin's I've seen. Perfect. A lot of people drop them in arch angle stocks. I ain't that kind of person, but you could, if you wanted to, make you a tactical looking hunting rifle. Not into that crap. A lot of people are though. You can do a lot of stuff with them. So, final conclusion: buy them. You'll love it. At least I did. And they're a family favorite now in the Grant family. And I just want to thank you so much for watching this video. And it's actually my first extensive review on a gun, but I had to do it on the Mosin Nagant because I love this thing. I never would have thought I love these things as much as I do. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for this time. Thank you for your time, and God bless.